So the next step is, you probably already know, I'm going to talk about prosperity today. So you might know this about me, but maybe you don't, but I grew up in a family with not much money, okay? My family was considered lower middle class. My father was a factory worker, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and when we say home, we didn't own our home, we rented, so. And, everyone has a different story of how they grew up, and we all learn, from our parents, right? What our parents did, we learned that. And so because they had a difficult relationship with money, then so did I. The number one argument between my parents was about finances. And I grew up listening to money doesn't grow on trees, so there's a lack message going on there. Did any of you hear something similar while growing up?
Yeah.
Okay. And so I felt, as some of you, how difficult it was growing up without money, and how negatively it impacts how we feel about our life, what actions we end up taking, and also what strain it can be put on the family relationships. Having scarcity and lack while growing up made me feel insecure in my relationship to money. But as an adult, I heard about the law of flow. The law of flow teaches that money is energy. To create prosperity, we must allow money to circulate. Like a river, prosperity should flow freely through spending, investing, and of course, charitable giving. Hoarding creates stagnation. But allowing your funds to flow keeps it replenished. Prosperity is like a free-flowing river. Have you ever seen a spring come up from underground, or been in the mountains and you see the snow that's melted come down the mountain or the gorge into a river? That water is so sparkling, pure, and clean, and it keeps on flowing. But if water collects in a pool and gets very cloudy and mucky and stagnant, it does not support life. It gets overcome with that muck, and then there's no oxygen in the water, so life cannot live there. Prosperity works best when we circulate money. Even when we may be challenged in terms of our prosperity, it is important to keep that circulating. It's not a good idea to miserly hoard money or things. It leads to recession. And think about it like this: if you hang on to something so tightly, whether it's money, possessions, relationships, it will not protect it. It suffocates it. It stagnates. It will not bring you what you want. And that's just how things work in the energy world, right? So I know some of you are concerned about it because of the crazy things that are going on in our economy right now. There's much risk. With everything we hear on the news, some people may be thinking, I need to take my last few dollars and hoard them away until this blows over. How many of you have taken your prosperity out of circulation and put it away? Maybe it's been away for a long time. And I don't mean it's sitting in the bank collecting interest. I'm talking about those private little places, like maybe your sock drawer in your house. But remember what you're doing. You're taking prosperity out of circulation. And anything that does not circulate becomes stagnant. And stagnation means death. Stagnation is death. Remember, you must give in order to receive. If you're not receiving, it is because you have taken your money out of circulation. So, circulate it. Circulate it. I look for people and places to circulate my money. I find somebody to give it to. Why, I'm not giving it to them because of them. I'm giving it to them because I want to be prosperous. I'm giving it to them because this is the law of flow. I am keeping my prosperity circulating. So prosperity is really about giving, releasing, and most importantly, should I say it again? Circulating. So you circulate your prosperity, and one of the things I've discovered is you cannot outgive the universe, right? And believe me, I tried through the years. The deeper and deeper I get into this, the more I understand. I can never outgive the universe. Because no matter how much I circulate, it always comes back to me, times 10, times 20. And these are the universal principles that prosperity is based on. So let's talk about some practical applications. Have you ever been down to your last $300 and you owe something like $4,000? What do you do? What do you do when you don't have enough? I've been in this situation. I know what it feels like. I have learned that instead of hoarding my last $300, you want to circulate it. Smaller amounts go to your bills, like your phone bill, your water bill, the power company, and tithe some to the church. Donate a little to charity. This is what I mean by circulating your money. You may say, how can I donate to charity when I don't have enough for myself? It doesn't matter. Just circulate what you can. Remember, you cannot outgive the universe. Even though you may see a finite amount of money, remember that money is really infinite. It's just a mind virus, a man-made invention for bartering or trading. But that is not what prosperity is about. True prosperity is infinite. I like to think of prosperity, it's like love or hugs. If someone asks you for a hug, do you say, I only have 2 left and the weekend's coming up? No. Prosperity, like hugs, are infinite. The more hugs you give away, the more you get back. The more love you give away, the more you get back. Circulation works the same way with money. So we don't want to hoard that last amount. We want to break it up and circulate it forward. And knowing that the universe will provide. If you have a large debt, you may want to reach out for help from a financial planner or call the companies you owe money to see if you can work out a payment plan. You know, when I first started my career in sales, like I said, I didn't know much about money, and I happened to meet a guy, a friend of mine, that was a financial planner. I had no idea what a financial planner was at that time. So he talked with me, and we had a great conversation one time where he knew that I had just bought a new car, but I put it on payments, right? This new car. So he said, Elizabeth, he goes, when are you going to buy your next car? I go, I just bought a car. I'm thinking, I'm still old for this car. I don't even own it yet. And he says, are you gonna buy, when are you gonna buy it? In 2 years, in 5 years? Just let me know, kind of like what you think. I said, okay, how about 5 years? Maybe 5 years I'll buy a new car. He says, great. Then why don't you start a fund, Elizabeth's Car Fund, in an interest-bearing account. And you put money into that every week, as much as you can. And you collect interest on it. And then at the end of 5 years, you can take that money and buy whatever car you want or put the money towards the car. That way, I wouldn't be paying interest on a loan for a car. I'm getting paid the interest. So I felt very lucky. I had never heard this before. And he came into my life giving me these suggestions that probably you all know by now, but I didn't at that time, being a young person out of college. And so this really helped me see a different side of it, to say, yes, I can put that money in there, collect interest, and that interest is coming to me, buy the car, and whatever I have left, I can give away, I can donate, I can do something with that. If you follow the law of flow, you will attract and bring more prosperity back to you. Something you might want to try as well is blessing your checkbook. Did you ever think of that? Or you can, if you pay online, because a lot of people don't use checkbooks anymore, you can put on your phone or your computer screen, you can put a little blessing on there if you pay your bills electronically. So you can write something positive in the memo section of your payment. Instead of complaining that you have another bill to pay, we can change our mindset. It will make a huge difference in the outcome that you're looking for. For every envelope that comes your way with a bill, you can write on the envelope something like, "You are now filled with the beauty of the universe to supply my every need." Or something like this, "I send you forth to circulate in the flow of boundless prosperity. I know you will return to me in kind." So another suggestion is, as we did today, some positive affirmations. You can tell yourself over and over again, and hopefully it will replace your negative thoughts about not having enough. Remember the one we used earlier? Money is attracted to me like a magnet. Short and sweet. You can all remember that one. Remember that also you need to believe what you're saying when you say that affirmation. And if you don't believe what you're saying or you're sending out to the universe, then you're not going to have a positive outcome. So be willing to give away something you possess to receive something you desire. Now I know I just gave a sermon on prosperity, and the offertory for the service is coming up. So maybe this is your opportunity to try and experiment the law of flow by giving a little more than you would have. Or maybe when you're downstairs, partaking in the delicious food that the church has provided you, maybe you'll donate a little more than you got. Or maybe you'll help out with the cleaning. That's the way to give back. There are many ways you can practice the law of flow, here or wherever you go today or over the next week. Your ultimate results will come from your thoughts, your beliefs, and your consciousness about prosperity. Thinking from a place of possibility and abundance creates possibilities in our lives and our prosperity. So I hope this encourages you to recite every day your own meaningful prosperity affirmation. Amen.